All right, welcome to the WrestleFam Talk Show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Bryce.
We're going to be doing the review of the AEW Dynamite for July 20th, Fyter Fest,
Yep.
Day 2. So the show starts off with a match of Brody King versus Darby Allin.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a match made because they've been feuding the past few weeks ever since they had the Battle Royal. Brody King, he choked Darby Allin out and eliminated him from that Battle Royal.
Uh-huh.
And so here was the one-on-one matchup. Pretty much the story, small guy versus big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Brody King wins the match, right?
Yep.
And then who comes out afterwards?
Sting.
Sting comes out, and he tries to fight Brody King, and the lights go out. Malachi Black shows up.
Yeah.
Hits the mist, and they're choking Sting, and all of a sudden, who do we hear? Miro.
Mm-hmm.
And what did he do, Bryce?
Standing there and stared at them.
He just stood there and stared
did
at
nothing.
him. Yeah, his music hit. He came out, and it was like, are you going to do something?
Until the interview came.
Yeah, until like they just went to a different part of the show. It was like, why'd you even come out, Miro? Standing there with his sunglasses. Just standing there looking at him.
Yeah. He has no part of the...
Yeah, I don't know why he came out, but that was...
no point of him coming out if he's not going to do anything.
That's right. I mean, the match was all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Darby Allin versus Brody King. I don't know if I
Darby
want to see
Allin
that.
got flung a lot, though.
Yeah, that's probably why they had that match, was just to make him get thrown all over the place.
Like a ragdoll.
I'm not even going to cover like the interviews during this show. There was a lot of them. But we're just going to go match to match.
Important.
Not really.
Yeah.
They didn't really do anything, those interviews. The next match was Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta against Best Friends. It wasn't until halfway through the match that I remember that Wheeler Yuta and the Best Friends used to be in a group together. So that was the story they were telling, was kind of like, oh, they were former friends, and now he's moved on to new friends. And they started hitting each other hard during that match. That was their story on that one. No surprise here. They end up getting the win, Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
What do you think about Best Friends?
They're not the best.
Yeah, I mean, I like Trent.
Yeah.
But Chucky T, I don't know.
Why are they called best friends if they're not the best?
Yeah, well, I guess it's just about their friendship, not necessarily the wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they've been in some good matches. They've had a lot of time on TV. They've been in a lot of feuds. I just don't
like them that
much. I'm
not.
I mean, Orange Cassidy's the main show for them. And they're just there. So when they're just wrestling, it's not that interesting to me. How about you?
Yeah, I like Orange Cassidy more.
Yeah, definitely. So maybe that's why they have him with him, so he stands out even more.
Yeah, they're like his bodyguards.
Yeah, kind of. They just show up to help him out. One interview that I do want to talk about, even though I said I wasn't, but here was Swerve and Keith Lee. And the reason I want to talk about that interview, it was in the ring interview, but it wasn't really an interview. You know what I mean? There was action. It wasn't just stand there and talk, because Mark Sterling came out with Tony Nese, interrupted their little celebration. They had a rapper there. They were in Atlanta. I don't know who he was. Surprise there, right? I don't even know what his name was. I forgot it.
Yeah, he came out of the crowd.
Yeah, he was in the crowd.
Yeah, and then just punched one of them.
Yeah.
And then Keith Lee and the other dude smashed the cake in the other guy's face.
Yeah, that's right. So they had the rapper there, and then Mark Sterling came out and wanted him to sign this paper to get rid of
and he said no.
Strickland. Yep. And then he punched Tony Nese, and then Mark Sterling turned around and Strickland threw that cake in his face. And Keith Lee kind of was laughing. But it was a pretty fun thing.
Yeah.
A nice
better than an interview.
Yeah, it was a nice little cake thing. You know, they got that from, obviously, many people would know, from when Jim Cornette in Mid-South with the Rock and Roll Express, they were having a celebration, him and his Midnight Express, and then the Rock and Roll came out and slammed his face in the cake.
Yeah.
And that actually was leading to 2 different feuds, I believe, with Cowboy Bill Watts and the Midnight Express. It ended up being with the Junkyard Dog teaming up with Bill Watts against the Midnight Express. But anyways, that's where that cake thing comes in from. Every time you see a cake, you know it's going to get thrown into someone's face.
Yeah.
So that's the one interview I wanted to talk about because
I'm not gonna eat it though.
He kind of ate it, but yeah, you don't want to eat it after it's been in someone's face or slammed on the ground. But next match was Varsity Blondes. Again, a team I don't really care for. How about you?
No.
I mean, they're just there to lose, it seems.
And never heard of them.
You never heard of them? Yeah, it's Flying Brian's son, Brian Pillman Jr., and what's his name? Griff Garrison. They're more known for, especially Griff Garrison, for being with Sammy Guevara on his YouTube channel. That's what he's mainly known for. But he's against Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. And of course, they didn't have a chance. Luchasaurus just dominates them. But the big story here, after Luchasaurus and Christian Cage win, which just, I was kind of watching it and I was in and out. I didn't even know that the match ended because I wasn't really paying attention.
The only reason they won was Christian Cage won was because he had Luchasaurus.
Yeah, the big guy.
Yeah. If he has anyone else, he would lose.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. He might have been able to beat those blondes.
Yeah.
But after the match, finally, Jungle Boy comes back. And he gets into Luchasaurus's face, and Luchasaurus stands to the side. I don't know if he's on Jungle Boy's friend anymore, or if he's with Christian Cage. But
I would stick with Jungle Boy.
You would stick with Jungle Boy? Well, it looks like he might be. He kind of just turned around and faced Christian Cage, who was in the ring, and allowed Jungle Boy to chase Christian Cage up the steps. And that was the last we saw of them. So this show was a lot of cliffhangers, it seems.
Yeah, and
a lot
weird.
Of staring and chasing, not much hitting.
Like Miro.
Yeah, Miro stood there and looked at him, and then Jungle Boy chased Christian. No one really got their the finishing touches, if you will, on there. Then up next, we have Ricky Starks defending the FTW belt, which doesn't mean anything in AEW because they haven't sanctioned it. It's just a prop. And he's against Cole Carter, some random guy.
Yep.
Out of nowhere. So you knew who was going to win this one. And it was Ricky Starks. Pretty standard match. The crowd was really behind Ricky Starks. I think pretty soon he's going to get pushed to being a top guy. Maybe for a belt that actually means something.
Yeah.
Because really, people like Ricky Starks. They like Powerhouse Hobbs, too. I know I do.
Yeah, versus Keith Lee or something.
Yeah,
like
maybe they'll be the next challengers.
And Luchasaurus or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be a great matchup too. Some big man matchups. So
yeah. Maybe
we'll see them. It was an all right match, but I didn't know who the other guy was, so it didn't really mean that much. But the big story here was it's an open challenge. Ricky Starks made it seem as if he wanted a second match that night. And then Danhausen came out. And I like Danhausen. I like his character. He has that face paint. But I don't understand why Ricky Starks was scared of him. Is Danhausen some great wrestler? From what I've seen, he's just ordinary wrestler. I don't know if it's their thing where they're supposed to be afraid of a curse, but I didn't understand why Ricky Starks would be scared of Danhausen. It's not like Danhausen is some big dude or something like that.
Yeah, so he's small.
Yeah, so I don't know. But that's what he did. He acted like he was scared. And they set that match up for next week's Dynamite.
Wow.
Then we had some tag team action with the women. It was supposed to be a 6-man tag, and then I think it was Layla Gray. She couldn't be there, so Chris Statlander couldn't be in the match, and then it became Athena and Willow Nightingale versus Jade Cargill and Kira Hogan. I mean, it was what it was.
It was like a 4. It was a 2-on-2.
Yeah, it was a tag team match.
Yeah, it's just a normal tag team match.
Normal tag team match. Nothing really to talk about. Jade Cargill won. No surprise there. She's undefeated. She's been running through everybody. There was an interview segment.
What about Keith Lee?
What, she ran through Keith Lee too?
Nah.
I don't know if she could.
Keith Lee would
I don't know if they're going to have mixed matches in that.
Yeah.
There was another interview segment with FTR, pretty much talking about the pay-per-view this Saturday, which we may order. So there's a Ring of Honor pay-per-view this Saturday. Some pretty good matches on there. Briscoes versus FTR, 2 out of 3 falls, and Jay Lethal versus Samoa Joe are the big matches that I would want to see. And of course, we did a little video about Ric Flair's last match, which is the following weekend. So we got 2 weeks of pay-per-view action that we're probably going to watch.
Yeah. So and then we won't be bored.
We won't be bored.
Yeah.
We won't be bored. So they promoted that one, and then
it's boring when you're bored.
What's that?
It's boring when you're bored.
Yeah, that's why they call it boring or bored. You're boring when you're bored. And then I think it was the main event. I think the main event came right after this. And boy, was it a main event. It was what was it called? Barbed Wire Everywhere match. It was Chris Jericho versus, I'm drawing a blank, Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. I'm sorry, the cat keeps jumping up. I'm drawing a blank here. So, Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho in a barbed wire match. And maybe the reason I forgot it was Eddie Kingston is because, I'll be honest, I was looking forward to this match, and it did not live up.
It wasn't as exciting as we heard of it.
Yes, what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so many times you can see someone go into barbed wire.
Yeah. Eddie Kingston didn't get that hurt. I would expect him to get more hurt. He didn't even end up bloody.
Yeah, Kingston didn't really bleed except for his back. Jericho was all busted open. What the funny part was in the beginning, they had the barbed wire wrapped around the announcer's microphone.
Yeah.
And because it was barbed wire everywhere. And then they had the cage, the shark cage.
Yeah.
And the Jericho Society was supposed to be all in there. Here's what I immediately I saw this, and I guess the reason it wasn't a good match, it was so predictable that it wasn't fun. Because you saw it was supposed to be the Jericho Society, which includes Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti. Why were they not in the cage?
Yeah.
So they just put the 4 guys. So immediately you saw Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti not in the cage, and you already knew, there's going to be interference.
Yeah, and they're going to come out at the last second.
Yeah, so the match goes on, and Kingston's handling Jericho. And you know, I'm not very critical too much of wrestlers. They're doing stuff that I'll never be able to do, especially this barbed wire match, even though I do have some scars from some C-wire, but it wasn't from a match.
Yeah.
But when Jericho, when he cuts his forehead with the razor blades, he is just not good at hiding it. This is like I don't know, how every time he bleeds, you know when he's cutting himself. The cameraman, if I'm running a show and I got a wrestler that just blatantly cuts himself on his forehead where everybody can see on TV, cut to some other picture. I mean, they were doing a horrible job tonight on the cameras anyways. There was the time during the match with Wheeler Yuta. They were setting up the explosion between the 2 ex-friends, and they missed the slap that Wheeler Yuta did on Chucky T, which was the whole buildup because they wanted to show the announcers. So if Jericho's about to cut himself, show the crowd, show the announcers. You do it all the time when you're missing the important shots on the match. So you see Jericho cut himself immediately. And then the match goes on, and you're just pretty much waiting because they gave it away too because they put Ruby Soho in charge of the up and down cage. So the cage is there. She's got the machine, and you automatically know who's been beating up Ruby Soho. Tay Conti. Who's not in the cage? Tay Conti. And who comes down to the ring to attack Ruby Soho? Tay Conti. Now there was one little surprise in there, one little wrinkle, because Anna Jay comes out, and she turns bad as well. So she starts beating up Ruby Soho, and then she's the one that presses the button. Well, Tay Conti takes the keys. She goes to the cage.
She doesn't know how to unlock the cage.
She's got one job. One major job. Unlock a lock. If there's one thing I've learned in wrestling, when they lock those things, it always goes bad. I remember when Miss Elizabeth was trying to handcuff Macho Man or Hulk Hogan in WCW, and she couldn't get the job done. There's been numerous times where the locks have just not worked. Mark Henry trying to get into a cage, trying to break a lock. Kurt Angle trying to do it. I don't know why they have to put real locks on. This is wrestling. They already pre-cut boards and tables and fake this and fake that and put cushions. But the one thing they keep is the real locks. You can't just find a fake lock or a flimsy lock. Why does the door need to literally be really locked, especially in that cage when no one's going against the door? Yeah. I can maybe understand they're in a cage match because maybe someone's getting thrown in it and you want it to be strong enough to hold. But this is a shark cage above the ring. No one's trying to get out of it because you're up in the air.
Yeah.
Put a flimsy lock because Tay Conti goes over there and she can't get the lock.
So they have to climb through these little bars.
Yeah, the skinny ones, Daniel Garcia and whatever the other guy, the former 2.0 guy, they just climb through the bars. Mm-hmm. They're like, I got to get in there and do my stuff. At one point, she handed the keys to the guys inside the cage, like, here, you try. And they moved the cameras away. And then finally, a few minutes later, Swagger and the other big guy, they finally come out of the cage.
Swagger it was probably hard to get out.
Yeah, he had to wait. He had to wait till the cage was lowered. Or not lowered, but unlocked. And then, so they're beating up Kingston. It's like 5-on-1.
And then Kingston's friends come down.
Yeah, Moxley, Yuta, the guy formerly known as Cesaro.
Yeah.
Ortiz.
Yeah.
They come down.
And they come help.
Yeah, but again, logically, I don't know, I guess I don't enjoy wrestling as much as the regular fan because I put too much logic into it. Like, so your buddy's in a cage match or a barbed wire match. You got these bad guys in a cage. Like, are you not watching the TV? Are you not watching that these girls have now jumped Ruby Soho and now are lowering the cage? You are going to wait until the five guys get in the ring and get their shots on Kingston before you start running out to the ring. Like, what are they doing back there? What else is going on in the backstage area that has kept everyone's attention, especially when it's your good buddy? And you know Sammy Guevara's loose. He's not in the cage. You're not worried about him coming out? You're not worried about Tay Conti? You're just out back playing Uno? And then someone has to run to the back porch and go, hey, Kingston's getting beat up. Oh, no. What? Well, I'm shocked. And here, guys, let's run.
Then Guevara comes out and stuff.
Yeah. So they go to the back. Then you're wondering where everybody is. So they fought in the back, it looks like. They wrestle some more. Kingston hits Jericho with every move that he could think of. Jericho's kicking out. Then he's locked him into some sort of submission hold. Got barbed wire wrapped around Jericho's face. And surprise, Sammy Guevara comes in. Super kicks him. And then Jericho hits him. And what's funny is Kingston's finishing maneuver is a spinning back fist. Jericho kicks out. Jericho hits him with a spinning elbow. Gets the win. Pretty much the same move. Elbow and fist. Well,
they should be like a tag team or something.
They should spin at the same time.
Yeah.
Knock each other out, maybe. Then the match ends, and everybody's like, Jericho's bleeding, because one point he does the little code breaker, and the chair with the barbed wire falls right on his face and really hurts him, because he's really grabbing at his face. You can tell when someone's really hurt and not hurt. When they get hit and they cut themselves through. But then when they really get hit, you could tell they act like, oh, crap, it really hurts. My thought is, why don't you put that acting into when it's the fake stuff? React how you really would react when you got hurt. That way we wouldn't know. But no, you could tell Jericho was really hurt on that one when the chair fell on his face. Then after the match, Kingston gets up And Jericho and Sammy, they're doing this whole, I'm trying to hold Kingston and we're going to hurt him. And then Kingston reverses it. And it was like Jericho and Sammy lock up like they're starting a match because they don't know, they messed up the whole running into each other or whatever was supposed to happen. It looked sloppy. Kingston knocks Sammy out of the ring. What I love about that is he knocks him out of the ring, but he like barely did anything to him. I've just watched guys kick out of double pile drivers and slam through the tables and all these finishing maneuvers. Kingston barely knocks Sammy and he's out. He's put out, but I've watched Sammy get up from a triple flipping pile driver through a table at a 2 count in his match, but you just knock him out of the ring after the match, he's done for. So he falls out. He's not coming back. That's just too much for him.
Yeah.
And then Kingston throws Jericho in this big pile of sea wire, and he's screaming like it's really hurting him, which it may have because it was caught in his ear and his pants were ripped.
Yeah.
And it ends with him screaming. And my reasoning for saying that this match was bad is because all that pain that Jericho went through legitimately, it was not worth it because that match sucked.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I did not enjoy it. The build-up for it did not deliver in my eyes. Too predictable, boring, not much to talk about. So if I were you, if you have not watched Dynamite this week, I would skip it. Unless you're diehard like me, I watch it every week. A lot of times they're great, but again, I'm going to call it when it's bad. I would skip tonight's match. It's really,
they should have never spoiled anything, or so it'd be a surprise.
Made it unpredictable. It would have been better. It would have been more of a surprise had you had Tay Conti and Sammy Guevara in the cage, and then Anna Jay came out to attack, and then bring it down. That would have been really more unpredictable than knowing that Sammy Guevara was already loose.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts on it? You agree with me? Was it kind of a bad show? So if you're not a big AEW fan or you watch it here and there, you can skip this. You haven't missed anything. It really didn't set up anything other than Jungle Boy coming back, but it was not anything that exciting about that.
It was not worth watching.
That's right. But the pay-per-views, the Ring of Honor one this Saturday and the Ric Flair one.
It's probably going to be good.
Those ones, if I were you, I would order one of the two. If I had to order it, I would do Ric Flair above Ring of Honor. But if you can get both, go ahead and get both. Ric Flair's is around $35. Ring of Honor is $30.
Yeah.
But and of course with inflation right now, you can afford
Flair's last match is better.
Yeah.
Because it's more money.
But it's going to be hard to sell that with the way the prices are with everything. But we'll splurge a little bit.
Are we going to get both?
We might get both because it's almost the end of the summer, just to splurge. But if it was like middle of the year, maybe not. But since it's the summertime, we want to have a little bit of fun. We'll probably order both. Have a couple of wrestling weekends before we get back into school. But this Dynamite, not the best. If you want to watch it, go ahead. I don't feel like it's worthy of a watch.
Yeah.
You're not going to be entertained on this week's Fyter Fest Day 2. Sorry to say. And I love AEW, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
I would say the first one's better.
Yeah, Day 1 was a lot better. So if you watch last week's show, it was fine. This week, you could skip it. You won't even miss a beat. There was really nothing that happened that set anything else up.
Yeah. That was part of the story.
That's right. But we'll have some more videos out this week. I want to talk about Kenny Omega coming back. We're going to talk about a lot of the big shows coming up, maybe try to predict who's going to fight who, things of that nature. So stay tuned to that. We hope you enjoyed today's show.
I didn't.
Well, I'm talking about our show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
the Dynamite show. Yeah. I hope they enjoyed this show. For the few listeners that listen, I hope you enjoyed this show. And I hope you join us next time. So we'll see you.
Bye.